So this is really my first time using this Arccaptain welder here that they sent me to test out. And I gotta say, I'm kind of impressed with how decent it welds for such a cheap welder. I'm not the best welder in the world, so I think somebody that was really proficient at welding would really like this machine, but so far I'm liking it as a good little starter machine. So once I got the settings figured out, I like to do a lot of stuff in pulse. So I got a good pulse setting figured out. And once I did that, I noticed that right away this welder was welding very consistently. I'm starting here by doing some fusion welding on some TV adjusters that I sell. And these are a chromoly 058 wall 1/2 inch tube with a chromoly tube adapter. And so I just fusion weld these. And one of the things that's can be difficult with this is the consistency, since you're just fusion welding and not using any filler. But this welder did a very good job with the fusion welding aspect of it. And I'm just using all of the components that come with the welder, so no fancy cups or anything like that. I wanted to make sure that this was a good test of an out-of-the-box how you're going to get this welder. And so far on the fusion welding, I'm very content with it, very happy. You can see here that it is super consistent, and that's what I really like. So once I had some confidence built up with the welder, I did a little bit of outside welding with it, where you've got to get into those awkward positions to do some welding. Welding on some 058 wall 1 5/8 chromoly here for a AC unit stand that I'm building for my garage. And I am not the best welder in the world when it comes to uncomfortable positions, but with the pulse setting dialed in on this and the nice hand control on the TIG torch, it made it very easy to be able to do a nice job welding this up without getting too much heat into the tube. Really nice, consistent welds with this, even not being super proficient at the hard welding. So after I spent some time with the chromoly welding, it's a little bit easier, I started to try my hand at the stainless steel. Some of the parts that I make are laser cut and made out of stainless steel. So really the heat control is a big deal on these, and these are production type parts. So consistency of the quality is something that's really important to me. And right away, I was very impressed with how this welder did with welding stainless with the cups out of the box like this. I was honestly not expecting it to weld stainless this well. And really, this is the most consistent stainless welding that I have done in quite some time. That's usually one of the things that I struggle with even the Everlast or the Lincoln welder, is just sticking with a consistent beadwork on it. And this pulse setting is quite a bit faster than anything I've used before. Even with it turned down pretty far, it still pulses quite a bit more. So I'm going to attribute that to why this thing is welding so consistently, but nonetheless very consistent and very happy with the way that the welds are turning out on the stainless steel on these production brackets here. So once I got confident with the stainless welding capabilities of this welder, I moved on to some more production style pieces, which these are called flex plate shields. And these are important that the welds are good on these, nice and consistent and not overheated. Because this is actually a safety item that has a regulation that it has to meet. So very happy with the fact that I'm able to turn out such nice high quality production work with such a cheap and easy to use simple welder. By the end of all of this, I am very impressed with this welder and the capabilities that it has to do so much different versatility. So originally, when Arccaptain reached out to me about doing a review on this welder, the only obligation was that I did one full video on it and gave an honest opinion on it. And I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't have high hopes for this welder. Anytime it seems like things are cheaper than what you think that they really should be, it's really easy to just assume that they're not any good. I think we're all kind of guilty of that in some way. And I am under the philosophy of, if you are new to TIG welding, it is way better to spend a lot more money and get a lot nicer machine than to try and start off doing this with a cheap machine, because typically a cheap machine is hard to use. But I do have to say that in this case, none of that applies. The machine is very good. I was so impressed with it and so inclined that I felt that I needed to make another video, a follow-up video, showing you guys how well this machine really does work, because it really did impress me. This is absolutely a machine that I would suggest to anybody that is new to TIG welding and looking to get into this without spending a ton of money. I think that some of the reason that I had such good success with it out of the box is because it is such a user-friendly welder. And I think anybody that is new to TIG welding, you don't want all of those fancy settings. You don't actually want to have that high-dollar machine because you might get really lost in it. It's obviously going to have more capabilities as you grow as a welder, but you've got to get there first. And TIG welding can be very discouraging when you're first starting out. So it's really nice to have a machine that's not a big investment cost-wise up front and is still going to perform at the same levels of machines that are twice and 3 times the money of this one. So absolutely recommend anybody that is looking to get started into TIG welding, or if you already are into TIG welding and you're wanting another welder, but maybe you have a more expensive welder and you don't want to spend that money again, definitely look into this Arccaptain Tig 200. I think it is an absolutely great welder, and I'm super impressed with it. I'm actually going to leave a link in the description of this video, so if any of you guys want to check out this welder and purchase it for yourself, it'll be really easy for you guys to find. That's all I got for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. If you're new here, click the subscribe button, click the like button. If you like this type of content, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. And like always, guys, we'll catch you on the next one.